welcome back. The idea for this video was DM'd to me on Instagram and I'm super excited to show you how it turned out. So starting off with never hardening clay and breaking off a small chunk, I'm going to use this to create those fungus shapes. To make the shape, I just rolled out a small piece of clay with a rolling pin, cut out a circle with a sharp tool, and then I pinched the edges to make them thinner, and then I pushed the two edges together to make that little crease, making sure to leave extra clay on the bottom so I can attach it to the mold later. Another way of making the fungus shapes is to flatten out a piece of clay with your fingers and pinching the edges like before and then folding in the middle to create a different shape. I made about 20 different sized fungi before I began the next step, which is to take a decent amount of clay and just smooth it on the face cast or table if you don't have a face cast. The extra clay allows a platform for the fungi pieces to easily attach to. Once I got the slabs of clay smoothed out, I propped my face cast up with one of those heating pack things, and then I started to attach the fungi pieces. I strategically placed them where I saw fit and smoothed that extra clay on the bottom to the slab on the cast. I tried to place the smaller pieces at the top and larger pieces near the middle and the bottom. I originally started with just 2 pieces on either cheek, but I had some fungi pieces left over and decided to do a forehead piece as well, which you will see me do later. Next, I wanted to add some texture and deepen the creases in the middle. I used my tool and scraped the clay out from the center to add some rough and imperfect texture, but you actually weren't able to see any of it after all the coats of latex I used were dry. I poured some liquid latex into a container and used a crappy paintbrush that I didn't care about to apply the latex. This was very challenging because I had to coat every single little crevice and there were a lot of them. So I did about 6 or 7 coats before I felt like it was thick enough to be taken off of the mold. But before I took it off, I powdered the heck out of it to make sure that it wasn't going to stick to itself. Then I gently started peeling up the edges and powdering as I went. Then I figured there was no way to get it off while keeping the clay intact, so I peeled up the latex with the fungi pieces still lodged inside. Then I powdered it some more and used this dentist-looking crooked tool to gently maneuver the clay pieces out of the latex. This took about an hour for all 3 pieces because I had to really dig to get all of the clay out. Next, I used my trusty zombie palette and those first 4 colors and a toothbrush to get the foundation of colors down. I poured some 91% alcohol into the pale color and used the toothbrush to flick it onto the latex. And then I mixed it with some yellow. Then I poured some more alcohol into the pale color and into the green color to mix those together and create a pale green fungusy type color. Once I got the foundation on, I used a small brush and the brown to add the details. I traced that line in the middle for some depth, and I started on the edge and flipped the color towards the middle to create those uneven streaks and lines. I made sure there wasn't too much product on my brush and that it wasn't too diluted and runny, because otherwise you wouldn't get those sharp, dark lines. Then I went back and did the same thing using the pale color to get rid of any harshness with the brown. Finally, I went back with some yellow and the toothbrush to add some more color and texture. Now, the last thing I had to do to the prosthetics was to cut away all of the excess latex to make sure that it didn't look too fake when it was on my face and that it blended well with my skin. And there are all the pieces 100% done. And now you finally get to see my pale, sleep-deprived face. I'm doing a full face of makeup, so I'm starting with some primer and rubbing that into my face. Then going in with some foundation and blending in a light coat of that. Now I'm using some concealer for my under eyes and all the other places that I see people putting it. I'm using these dark browns and this no-name palette to contour my face. And then this light highlighter to highlight my face. Now, I don't actually wear makeup, like, ever, so I don't really know what I'm doing. But I'm taking this blush on an already dirty brush and putting it on my highlighter, realizing that highlighter goes on after blush. Anyways, I'm taking the sad broken eyeshadow that I used to fill in my eyebrows, and I just comb through them to disperse the powder evenly. Then I'm powdering my entire face to set the foundation and concealer. And now I'm taking some eye primer and blending it on my eyelids. Using a light brown eyeshadow in this nude palette, I put that in my crease and gently blend it out. Then I'm using a darker brown and blending it on top of that lighter brown. Then an even darker brown. Next, I took this light nude shade and put that on my lid. Then with my finger, I used this white pearly shade and highlighted my brow bone as well as the inner corners of my eyes. Now I'm using these greens on the bottom lash line and a lighter green to blend them out. Next, I'm lining my upper waterline with black liner and my lower waterline with white eyeliner. Then I'm using green mascara on the bottom lashes and black mascara on the top lashes. And now to carefully glue on my eyelashes. Then taking a white face paint and a bobby pin, I made white dots around my eye, extending up around my eyebrow, and I also added some around the bridge of my nose. Then using a light pink shade for my lips. Next, to glue on the prosthetics with spirit gum. I put some on the latex and on my skin where I wanted it, and then I blew on the latex and tapped both areas so it could get tacky, and then I stuck them on. And once they were all on, that is the finished look.